Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Anuta, the Crochet World, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please subscribe to my channel, like, share and comment on my videos. And today we're gonna do this beautiful pattern for a phone cover. Here it is. It looks like this. And for this particular project, I have used my 100% cotton yarn, and for this one I have used 3.5 mm of the hook. So let's begin. So here it is. We will start with a slip knot. So just have your yarn and have a slip knot here. And now I'm going to chain up 15 here. 1, 5. So here it is. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. Chain up 15 here, and now I'm going to turn my chains. And now here, I will skip this first chain and I will go to the second chain. So this is the back part of my first chain and this is the back part of my second chain. And I'm going to go to this second chain, insert your hook into the second chain here like this and grab your yarn. You're going to have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull your yarn through 2 loops. Now here I'm going to have a stitch marker so that I will remember that this is my first stitch. And now I will again insert my hook into this same chain, into this second chain where I've made this first stitch. Insert your hook again into that same chain and grab a yarn and have this second single crochet. Here it is. So into the second chain, we're going to have 2 single crochets, and now onwards we will have 1 single crochet into each chain. So here it is. I will go to this next chain and will insert my hook into this next chain and will grab the yarn and will have 1 single crochet only. I will go to this next one, insert my hook, grab a yarn and have 1 single crochet only. So keep on having 1 single crochet all the way until the end of your chains, and by the end you're going to have your 15 single crochets, 1, 5. So just keep on having this single crochets, and I'm going to meet you at the end of this chains with my 15 single crochets. Remember, only into the second chain you're going to have 2 single crochets. After that you're going to have 1 single crochet into each chain. And here it is. I've got this 15 single crochets here, and now here into this last chain I already got this last single crochet, my 15th single crochet. Here into this last chain I'm going to add up another 3 single crochets. So here it is. After this 15th single crochet, add another 3 single crochets here. So that's going to be your 16, 17 and 18th single crochet. Here it is, just like this. And now we will start working on the second side of our chains, and here we're going to have 1 single crochet into each chain. So here it is. Go to this first chain, this one, and insert your hook into this first chain here like this. Grab your yarn and have 1 single crochet. Go to this next one, insert your hook, grab your yarn and have 1 single crochet. Now keep on having 1 single crochet into each chain, and by the end of this chains here, not by the end, but here on the second last chain, you're going to have your 30 single crochets, 30. All the way around, you're going to have your 30 single crochets. So keep on having 1 single crochet into each chain, and I'm going to meet you here. Remember, this is your last chain. So not here, I'm going to meet you on this second last chain. And on here, I'm going to have 30 single crochets, and I'm going to meet you at the end here. And here it is. I got this 30 single crochets here. Here it is. And now I am here on this second last chain. Now I will go to this last chain, and here into this last chain I'm going to have another 2 single crochets. So here it is. Just have your 2 single crochets here. So that's going to be your 31 single crochet and your 32nd single crochet. So here it is. In total you got your 32 single crochets, and it looks like this. Here it is. Now I will take out this stitch marker and I will insert my hook into this first stitch here. Insert your hook into this first stitch like this and grab your yarn and have 1 slip stitch. So here it is. This is how we are going to finish this round number 1, and this is the base of our phone cover. Now for round number 2, I will chain up 1 and I will go to this first stitch. So here it is. This is my first stitch, and I will go to this first stitch, but here I will have 1 single crochet, that is a back loop single crochet. So for that I will insert my hook into this back loop. So remember, this is my first stitch where I have made this slip stitch. So this is my first stitch. insert your hook again into that same stitch like this into your back loop of your this first stitch and grab your yarn. You're gonna have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull your yarn through 2 loops, and this is your first single crochet of your round number 2. Now if you want, you can have a stitch marker here. This is your first stitch of your round number 2. And now for this round number 2, we're gonna have 1 single crochet back loop only into each of our this stitch. So here it is. For our round number 2, we're gonna have 32 stitches. All stitches will be back loop only single crochets. So here it is. This is our first stitch. Go to this next stitch, insert your hook into the back loop of your this next stitch, grab your yarn and have 1 single crochet. That is just 1 single crochet back loop only. Again, go to this next stitch, insert your hook into the back loop of your this next stitch, grab a yarn and have 1 single crochet back loop only. Now keep on having 1 single crochet back loop only into each stitch from your previous round, and by the end you're going to have your 32 stitches, 32 single crochets back loop only, and I'm going to meet you at the end here like this. And here it is. I got my this 32 stitches. All stitches are back loop only single crochets. And now here, now from our round number 3, we will start working in a spiral way. So we will not finish up our rounds with a slip stitch and then having a chain one or something. We will straightway start making our pattern. So here it is. After your this 32 stitch of your round number 2, we will start directly our round number 3, and for that this is our first stitch. Now this one is a slip stitch and this one is a chain one. So we are not gonna count this 2 as our stitches. Skip your this slip stitch and chain one. This is your first stitch. Now we're gonna skip over this first stitch as well, and we will go to this second stitch, the second single crochet. So here it is. I'm just gonna take out my this stitch marker here, as this one was the first stitch. Just take out your the stitch marker here, and we're gonna skip over this first stitch and we'll go to this stitch number 2. Now here, insert your hook into the stitch number 2 here like this, grab your yarn and have 1 single crochet here like this. And now you're going to have a stitch marker back on. So just have your stitch marker back on here. And now we will again insert our hook into the same stitch, into the second stitch, and have our second single crochet. Now we will skip over this next stitch and we will go to the stitch after that, and we will have 2 single crochets here into this one stitch. It's 1 and 2. Again, we will skip over this next stitch and we will go to the stitch after that, and we're going to have 2 single crochets into this one stitch like this. Now keep on repeating this pattern for this round number 3. So again, we're going to skip over this next stitch and we will go to the stitch after that, and here we're going to have 2 single crochets into this one stitch. So it's 1 and 2. Here it is. Keep on repeating this pattern all the way around, and by the end of this round number 3, we're going to have our 32 stitches, 32 single crochets, and your last stitch will be here on your this last stitch. Remember, we have skipped over this first stitch on our round number 2. So your last stitch will be on your this last stitch. Your last 2 single crochets will be on your this last stitch. Keep on repeating your this pattern. Skip your this next stitch, go to the stitch after that and have 2 single crochets again. Skip your this next stitch, go to the stitch after that and have 2 single crochets. Keep on repeating this pattern, and I'm going to meet you at the end with my 32 single crochets. So here it is. I'm at the end of my this round number 3, and I got my this 30 single crochets here. Now I'm gonna skip my this next stitch, and I will go to the stitch after that, and that's gonna be my last stitch of my round number 2. And here I'm gonna have my this last 2 single crochets of my round number 3, and that's gonna be 31 and 32 stitches. Here it is, and this is the end of my round number 3. Now for my round number 4, I will go to this second stitch. So here it is. This is our first stitch, and we're going to skip over this first stitch. Remember, we are working in a spiral way, so we are not going to have any slip stitch. We will straightway start our round number 4. So here it is. This is your first stitch, and now for our round number 4, we will skip over this first stitch and we will go to the stitch after that. So we will go to this second stitch. But here, I will just take out my this stitch marker. So here it is. Skip your this first stitch, go to the stitch after that. Now here we will go down to the stitch and we will go to this 2 string of yarn here. So if you can see, you will find here this 2 string of yarn here. It's here. So just insert your hook into this 2 string of yarn. Now this is your 2 string of yarn. This is this 2 strain of yarn, this 2 for your first stitch, and next 2 is for your second stitch. So we're going to go to this second stitch and we will insert our hook into our this 2 strain of yarn just down to this stitch. This is your loop. We are not going to insert our hook into this loop. We will go down to this loop and we will insert our hook into this 2 strain of yarn in between this 2 strain of yarn. So just insert your hook in between this 2 strain of yarn here. Here it is, and take out your hook from the back. Now at the back, you're going to take this second loop as well. You're going to take this down loop. Now this one is not into the stitch. This one is down to your stitch here. So this is your loop, this is your stitch, and just down to your stitch at the back, you're going to find your one extra loop, one small loop. We are taking these loops, these ones. If you can see it, we are taking these loops. So take that loop as well into your stitch, insert your hook like this, and grab your yarn. And now here we're going to have one single crochet. So yarn over and pull your yarn through 2 loops. That's going to be your first single crochet. So you can have the stitch marker on your first stitch. And now we will again insert our hook into that same space, and here take your yarn and have the second single crochet. So you're going to have 2 single crochets into that same space. Now again we will skip over this next stitch and we will go to the stitch after that. Now here, if you will see at the bottom, you're going to find this 2 strain of yarn here. Here it is, it's 1 and 2, and you're going to find another 2 strain of yarn here. That's 1 and 2. Now we will take the second 2 strain of yarns and we will insert our hook in between that 2 strain of yarn, and at the back we will not only take our this stitch, but we will go down to the stitch and we will take this loop as well into our stitch. So just insert your hook like this. And now again we're going to have 2 single crochets here. So just grab your yarn, pull up a loop. You're going to have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull your yarn through 2 loops. That's your first single crochet. Again insert your hook into that same space. Now you're going to have a space there, so you don't need to worry, you're going to find your space. So insert your hook into that same space here and have your second strain of yarn, second stitch, and a second single crochet. Here it is, you've got this 2 single crochets here. Again we will skip over this next stitch. So these 2 strain of yarn are for this first stitch, and next 2 strain of yarn are for this second stitch, and we will insert our hook into this second 2 strain of yarn in between that 2 strain of yarn, and we will take out our hook from the back, and we are taking the loop at the bottom as well. Here it is, this is your stitch, and just down to the stitch you're going to find this 1 loop, extra loop as well. So we're going to take this loop as well into our stitch. So just insert your hook like this and grab your yarn and have 2 single crochets. So that's 1, insert your hook again into that same space, grab a yarn and have the second single crochet. Now keep on repeating this pattern all the way around, and at the end of this round we're gonna have our 32 single crochets. And here it is, I'm at my this 30th stitch, and for my last 2 stitches of my this round number 4, I will go to this next stitch. So I'm going to skip my this stitch and we'll go to the stitch after that, and we'll insert my hook in between this 2 strain of yarn, and we'll take out my this hook from the back and we'll include the loop down below to this stitch here, and we'll grab my yarn and we'll have 2 single crochets here. It's 1 and 2, and here it is. This is the end of my round number 4, and it looks like this. And now we're going to repeat this round number 4 all the way until our required length. So here it is. This is the end of my round number 4, and now to start my round number 5, I'm going to repeat my round number 4 for my round number 5, and for that I'm just going to take out my stitch marker. Now this is our first stitch, so we're going to skip over this first stitch and we will go to the stitch after that. So we will go to the second stitch, and here it is again. These are 2 strain of yarn for your first stitch, and after that these are 2 strain of yarn of your next stitch. So insert your hook into this 2 strain of yarn in between this 2 strain of yarn, and take out your hook from the back, including your this little loop down to your this stitch, and just grab your yarn and have 1 single crochet here, and have your this stitch marker back on because this is your first stitch, and insert your hook again into that same stitch and grab your yarn and have 1 single crochet. So here it is. You got your this first 2 single crochets of your round number 5. Now here, just keep that in mind. If you don't want to have your this stitch marker, you can simply remove this stitch marker because we are working on the spiral way, and you can go just on and on and on until your required length. I'm going to have my this stitch marker on every first stitch of my every round because I'm counting my rounds here, and I'm going to go up to my round number 32. So here it is. It's completely optional, whatever size of this phone bag you want. If you want a longer one, you can go ahead and you can add up your rows. If you want a smaller one, you can always reduce the number of rounds. It's completely optional. So here it is. Again, I will go to this next stitch. Now I'm going to skip this next stitch and we'll go to the stitch after that. And here it is. These are my 2 strain of yarn here. We'll just go down to the stitch and include this little loop as well into my stitch. And we'll have 2 single crochets here, 1 and 2. Again, I'm going to skip this next stitch and we'll go to the stitch after that, and we'll have this next 2 single crochets here. Here it is, just like this. It's 1 and 2. Now keep in mind that your all rounds will have 32 stitches. And I'm going to meet you after my round number 32. And here it is. After my round number 32, it looks like this. Now here, if you're not counting your rounds, or if you're not on round number 32, you are having some other rounds, and your last stitch is somewhere around, just come up into the middle. So here it is. I'm right into the middle. This is my last 2 stitches. If you can see, these are my last 2 stitches of my round number 32. But as I said, if you're not working on this rounds, if you're not counting your rounds, and if you're randomly working on this phone cover, just keep in mind that we're going to come up in the middle. So it's regardless you're on this side or in this side, just come in the middle. So if you're somewhere here, just have some more extra stitches and come up into the middle here like this. And now, as I said, I'm right into the middle. I will just take out this last stitch. Now these 2 are my last 2 stitches of my round number 32. So I'm just going to take out this last stitch here like this, and this is my second last stitch. Now here I'm going to create a loop. Now the loop will depend on the size of your button. So here it is. I'm going to use this button. So it's completely optional how big your button is and what size of button you have been using, but I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to chain up 8 here. So here it is. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And here it is. I guess this one is right size here. Now, as this one is my second last stitch, I will go into that same space. Here we'll insert my hook into that same space, and we'll grab the yarn, and we'll have 1 single crochet here. Here it is. And I will create my loop, and this is my pattern. Now I will start my round number 33, but I will end up somewhere in here. So I'm just going to have few more stitches. I'm just going to take out this stitch marker. We're not going to need the stitch marker anymore. So just take this one aside, and again, this one was our first stitch, so this one is our second stitch. I will go into my second stitch here, and we'll have my first 2 stitches of my round number 32. So here it is. It's 1 and 2. Go to next, skip this next stitch, go to the stitch after that, and insert your hook into this stitch, and have your next 2 stitches here. It's 1 and 2, so that's 4 stitches in total, and I'm gonna have another 2 stitches. So I'm gonna skip this next stitch, and we'll go to the stitch after that here, and we'll have another 2 stitches. So after coming up into the middle and creating this loop, we will go just aside like this. We're gonna go on the side here, and here we're gonna finish up this round. And here it is. I'm just gonna cut my yarn here. Cut your yarn and simply secure this last stitch. Now to have a slip stitch here, now just to finish up this round, I will just have this needle, and have your needle here. And now I'm here. This is my last stitch. I will skip my this next stitch and I will go to the stitch after that, and I will simply insert my needle like this. Now remember, this is a normal stitch, just like this. So just insert your needle like this and take out your yarn from the back here. And now this is your last work stitch, hit this one. So this is your loop. Insert your needle into the loop here like this and take out your needle from the back. I'm just going to take both the loops here, just like this. Here it is. And take out your needle from the back, and here it is. This is how we are going to create a little stitch here, an extra stitch here, and that's how we will finish up our this round and this work, this phone case or phone cover. And now, as our this yarn at the back, just simply hide your this end in, and I'm going to meet you after that. So here it is. Just have a little knot here just to secure your this yarn, and then hide your this end, and I'm gonna meet you after that. Yeah, and here it is. It looks like this. Our loop is here, and now we are gonna attach our this button in here. So just attach your this button here in the middle, and I'm gonna meet you after that. So here for our this side strap, I'm just gonna have my yarn and leave a little space here. So leave a little yarn here because we're gonna attach our this strap with the phone case and have this slip stitch. So we're gonna start with a slip stitch, leave a little longer tail here, and now here I'm gonna chain up 2. So here it is. It's 1 and 2, chain up 2. Now go to the second chain from your hook. So this is your first chain from your hook. This is the second chain from your hook. Insert your hook into the second chain from your hook here. Grab your yarn and have 1 single crochet here. So you're going to have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull your yarn through 2 loops. And now I'm slightly going to turn my work. So just slightly turn your work. And if you can find your this 1 string of yarn here, just down to this stitch. You can find your stitch here. This is your stitch. Just down to a stitch, you're going to find your this 1 string of yarn and insert your hook into this 1 string of yarn here. Here it is. You're going to have 2 loops on your hook now. Yarn over and pull your yarn through 1 loop only here. Now you're going to have 2 loops on your hook. Now yarn over and pull your yarn through 2 loops. Now we will turn our work, and here at the corner you're going to find your this 2 string of yarn. Now onwards you're going to find your this 2 string of yarn here, and we will insert our hook into our this 2 string of yarn here like this. Yarn over and pull your yarn through 2 loops. You're going to have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull your yarn through 2 loops, and we're going to repeat our this pattern all the way until our required length. So again, turn your work slightly. You're going to find your this 2 string of yarn at the corner here at the side, and just insert your hook into this 2 string of yarn here. Yarn over and pull up a loop. You're going to have 2 loops in your hook. Yarn over and pull your yarn through 2 loops. Again, turn your work. You're going to find your 2 string of yarn here. Just insert your hook into this 2 string of yarn like this. Yarn over and pull up a loop, and you're going to have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull your yarn through 2 loops. And this is a Romanian code. Now go up to your required length, and I'm going to meet you after that. And here it is. I've got my this Romanian code, and it sizes like this. So we're just going to attach our this Romanian code like this. Here it is. It is the perfect size, and I'm just going to cut my yarn. So just cut a longer tail here, and it is just going to secure my this last stitch here. So here it is. Now we're going to attach our this strap with our this phone cover, and here it is. We're going to attach it like this. Now for that one, just gonna have my yarn, and I will go somewhere here and will insert my this hook and will grab the yarn. Here it is. Tie a knot and secure your this back strap here. You can have a couple of knots here, and now we're gonna hide over this 2 ends in, and here it is. Just hide this 2 ends in, and I'm gonna meet you after that. And here it is. Our phone case or a phone cover is ready. It looks like this, and simply you can open up this one and have your phone in, And that's it. And I hope you have liked my today's tutorial. If you have liked, please like, share and comment on my videos, and please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you into the next video. Till then, bye.